Welcome back. Prove the following formula. Integral of sine to the power n x dx is negative 1 over n cosine x sine to the power n minus 1 x plus n minus 1 over 1 over n integral of sine n to the sine n power n minus 2 x dx. So notice the point of this exercise is that integral of high power of sine, it's a product rule. You will need integration by parts. Regardless, integral of sine higher power is reduced power, okay, using integration by parts. So one can say, if I ask you to find formula for integrals sine to the power 10, you can apply this formula and come down to sine power 8. Well, sine power 8, you apply this formula again, you come down to sine power 6. Continue sine power 4. Continue sine power 2. Continue sine power 0, which is 1. Integral of 1 is x. Then you can put all the integrals together and eventually you will be able to read off integral sine power 10. Okay, so that there is a point to this formula. So how do we approach this? Well, you split it as sine power n minus 1 times sine x. So the second factor is sine x. So g is integral of sine, that's negative cosine. Fx is sine power n minus x, g is negative cosine. Then f prime is n minus 1 times sine n minus 2 times cosine x. So notice we are using chain rule. One is product rule combined with chain rule. G is negative cosine, so derivative of g is sine, which is the second factor here. First factor being sine n minus 1. So recall our formula for integration by parts. Integral fx g prime x is fg minus integral g f prime. Fg prime is sine n minus 1 sine, that is sine power n. Its integral is f g minus integral g is here, f prime is all of this. Alright, so clean it up. Negative cosine x sine power n minus 1. So this negative and a negative here makes it in all a positive. N minus 1 factor is out. Integral sine n minus 2 cosine squared. What is cosine squared? Cosine squared is 1 minus sine squared. Alright. So all of this is same as before, plus n minus 1 integral sine power n minus 2x times 1 minus sine squared. Distribute this product. You get integral sine n minus 2 minus sine n minus 2 times sine squared, that is sine power n all over again, with a coefficient of n minus 1. So that negative gives me a negative here. Alright. So integral sine n is all of this, complete with another integral sine n. So this is negative n minus 1. Move it over here along with this 1 plus n minus 1 is an n. That's where this n has come from. N sine power n x dx is the first two terms. Now, integral sine power n x dx is divided throughout by n. First term divided by n, second term divided by n, and that's the formula they want you to prove. Okay, this is a useful formula. A similar formula exists for cosine power n x dx. prove that the formula for cosine power nx dx is 1 by n cosine n minus 1x sine x plus n minus 1 by n integral cosine n minus 2. So you see the similarities. Negative becomes positive, cosine becomes sine, sine is cosine, and so on. All right. Same story. Split this as cosine power n minus 1 times cosine. So the second factor is simply cosine. So its integral is gx. Fx is cosine n minus 1. Gx is sine x. So f prime x is n times cosine n minus 2x times, this is chain rule, negative sine x. G prime is cosine. All right. Formula of integration by parts. Integral fg prime is fg minus integral gf prime. This tells me f is cosine n power n minus 1, g prime is cosine, fg is cosine n minus 1, g is sine, minus g is sine, f prime is whatever derivative we found, n minus 1 cosine n minus 2 times the chain rule part, negative sine x. So that negative and that negative becomes positive. The factor n minus 1, I can pull it out because it's a constant. Integral cosine n minus 1 cosine is cosine n minus 1 sine plus n minus 1 times sine squared cosine n minus 2. Sine squared itself is 1 minus cosine squared. So I can open this by distribution. 1 times cosine n minus 2 is cosine n minus 2 minus cosine squared cosine n minus 2 is cosine n. 2 and n minus 2. So that's where the n is. Don't forget the factor n minus 1 which distributes to both terms. All right. So what does this say? This is nothing but integral cosine n, you see. Integral cosine n is cosine n minus 1 x sine x plus n minus 1 integral cosine n minus 2 minus n minus 1 integral cosine n. Cosine n comes back to cosine n. So get these two terms together. 1 over here, n minus 1 from here. In all, you have an n. N cosine n x dx is the remaining two terms. Cosine n minus 1 x sine x plus n minus 1 integral cosine n minus 2. Dividing throughout by n, cosine n is 1 by n cosine n minus 1 sine x plus n minus 1 by n cosine n minus 2 x dx. So that's an important formula. Now next we start work on problems from web work. We'll come to these in our next video. Okay, until then, bye.